6 p.m. Before we begin, I kindly ask all council members to silence and put away cell phones. If you need to step away or attend to personal matters, please make a motion to recess. For those participating by phone, please keep your device muted unless you are speaking. When speaking, kindly state your name for the benefit of those viewing the live stream. As a reminder, this meeting is being broadcast live. The camera is located above the clock at the back of the council chambers. Our proceedings follows Robert's Rules of Order as set forth in Wasilla Municipal Code 2.04.090. To promote an orderly and respectful meeting, I respectfully ask the council to observe the following rules. Please seek recognition before speaking. No member may speak more than twice on the same motion without a vote to suspend the rules. No member may speak a second time until all who wish to speak have had an opportunity to do so. These guidelines help ensure fairness, efficiency, and mutual respect during our discussions. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilmember Cottle.
Here.
Councilmember Graham.
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
Councilmember Crafton.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Rubio.
Here.
You do have a quorum, Madam Mayor. All members are with us in chambers except Councilmember Crafton, who is participating telephonically.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Councilmember Schmidt, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item of business is approval of the agenda. Before changes are discussed, are there conflicts to declare? Hearing none, I have one change to the agenda. The item 6.2, the director report from the Recreational Services Director, will be removed and rescheduled for a future meeting. Are there any additional changes to the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved.
Madam
Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move items 8.3.1 and 8.3.2 to new business, please. And I believe they're kind of coupled together, so we could just discuss them together and put them together. No objection from the council.
Okay. Are there any other changes? Hearing none. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Is there a
Rubio
second?
seconds.
The motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda as amended. So is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, the agenda is approved as amended. We are now at special orders of the day, and there is one proclamation that I will read. Whereas Jeannie Herbert Truex has dedicated 29 years of exemplary service as a mathematics teacher at Wasilla High School, shaping the minds, character, and futures of countless students. And whereas for 31 years, she has served as the head coach of the Wasilla High School girls varsity basketball team, building a program defined by discipline, integrity, teamwork, and excellence. And whereas Coach Hebert Truex has compiled an extraordinary overall coaching record of 629 wins and 211 losses as of February 19th, 2026, reflecting decades of sustained success and commitment. And whereas under her leadership, the Wasilla Warriors earned 17 Northern Lights Conference championships and 7 Northern Lights Conference runner-up finishes. And whereas her team's achievement statewide distinction with 7 ASAA 4A championships and 7 ASAA 4A state runner-up finishes. And whereas in recognition of her outstanding contribution to student athletes and the sport of basketball, she was inducted into the Ossaw Hall of Fame in 2007, the Alaska Sports Hall of Fame in 2014, and the Alaska Association of Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame in 2022. And whereas her own athletic achievements were honored in 2010 when her high school jersey was retired by Monroe Catholic High School in Fairbanks, Alaska. Whereas beyond wins and championships, Coach Hebert Truex has mentored generations of young women, instilling confidence, resilience, leadership, and a commitment to excellence that extends far beyond the basketball court. And whereas her legacy will endure not only in banners and trophies, but in the lives of the student athletes, families, and community members she has inspired throughout her distinguished career. Now therefore I, Glenda D. Ledford, Mayor of the City of Wasilla, Alaska, do hereby proclaim our deepest gratitude and congratulations to Jeannie Hebert Truex upon her retirement as head coach of the Wasilla High School Girls Varsity Basketball Team, and we thank her for her dedicated service to the youth of Wasilla and the state of Alaska. Not only that, Jeannie, I would like to present you with the key to the city of Wasilla. And thank you for all you've done. And here is your key.
As it gets into, as long as it gets into Lena's house.
My house? It gets into my house.
Thank you, ma'am. It's such an inspiration, not only to these girls, but all of Wasilla Warrior Support Team. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll do it at state.
You hear that?
Yes. Come on, ladies, you got this.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Jeannie, if you guys are more than welcome to stay, but if you would like to go, you know.
Will be boring.
Yes.
Thank you.
Amazing job.
Yes. Good luck next week.
State tournament?
Yeah.
Boys and girls are in.
Yeah. Okay, now we are on to commission and agency reports. We will hear from Acting City Planner Nygaard for a report on the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. That is a hard act to follow. We did not have that much fun at the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission met on February 24th. They had a presentation by Dal updating them on the comp plan update. They also heard from the MPO and did some legislation to support those specific projects to Wasilla. They did some training on the quasi judicial procedures to better enhance our meetings, and overall, they adjourned before 8 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the agency reports we have, and we are on to public participation. We are at public hearing. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance by title.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ordinance serial number 2605, adopting the findings and recommendations of the compensation and classification study and establishing an updated pay scale to align the city of with the strategic compensation strategy.
The public hearing on ordinance serial number 26-05 is now open. Anyone wishing to testify, please come forward and begin by stating your first and last name. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person.
Hi there. My name is Keith Jones. I work for the City of Wasilla, Roads and Airport Maintenance Supervisor. Read through this study. There's a lot of interesting information in it, but it comes down to the pay scale for me. I did a spreadsheet comparing the old scale, new scale at the lowest step and the highest step, and then the changes in the hourly pay and or annual pay, depending on if you're salary or paid hourly. Basically, if we stay with the current scale and receive a 3 to 4% COLA increase like we have on July 1st the past few years, the old scale is better than the new scale for most of the employees. For example, at the highest step, which both scales basically have a 2.5% pay step increase. So I use the highest step on two comparisons just to see, for example, the staff accountant at the highest step on the current scale is $51.88 an hour. If we add just a 3% COLA increase, the last 2 years it's been 3.9%. That puts the staff accountant at $53.43 per hour. The highest step on the McGrath pay scale is $53.18 an hour. Now it's like 25 cents, but every little bit helps. I would like to ask if council is going to approve this McGrath scale to go into effect, that they adjust it for COLA. The study was done in November, and I think that a lot has changed since then. And I think if we're going to adopt this, it should be have a COLA increase similar to what we have with the old pay scale. Anyways, that's about all I have. If anybody's interested in seeing the scale that I did, you're welcome to have a copy of it. But what it does, like I said, it takes a current pay range with the new pay range and then the change. So anyways, thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Good evening. My name is John Becker. I am a City of Wasilla resident and also a City of Wasilla employee. And I just had a few things to say about that study myself. I did read the presentation and also saw it last council meeting that was presented. I thought she did a pretty good job at presenting it. Although I do have a few questions about her presentation and the means that HR decided on who was to be part of the study and why Anchorage and Palmer was left out of the study. One thing that was in the study that said about people leaving early and not keeping a personnel here, those people aren't even non-representative people. They're part of your unions. So you're kind of mixing apples and oranges when you're counting people and who that study was really reflecting. As far as Public Works is concerned, there's only 5 non-represented people and 3 represented people. So, I mean, as far as looking at the whole study, you're just giving you a grasp of what you're looking at. And then you got library and finance and the clerk's office, basically is all that study was really pertaining to. But back to my point about the union is that now that we have 5 different pay scales for the city, you need to really look at what you're offering the subordinates compared to the supervisors and how the subordinates are approaching the same pay as supervisors. That should be more important than some of this other stuff that was brought up. But currently, the people that I supervise receive a 3.2% pay raise per step, where we receive a 2.25 pay raise per step. So since the midpoint, they receive almost 8% more pay when you get to that final step. And if the McGrath study said to keep the scales at 10% between the grades, and they receive 8% more, I mean, they're only at least 2%. So you're not keeping up with the non-representative pay scales equally with the union pay scales. So yeah, back to comparison. sorry, I guess my time's up, but Fairbanks
You got another
Ketchikan.
minute.
Yeah, you have
Fairbanks, Ketchikan, Kodiak, Sitka, and Soldotna. Who from Wasilla left to go to work to those areas? Nobody. They're going to Anchorage. Why didn't the study include Anchorage as far as where we should be paid at? The other thing that used to be in code way back before the unions was that we were able to concur with council twice a year, and that was taken out of code when the union started. I think it should be put back. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Seeing no one, I will close public hearing and bring you back to the dais. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance serial number 26-05?
Madam Mayor?
Oh, who's going to?
Oh, you were going to?
Yes, because that way I get first read. Madam Mayor, I propose ordinance serial number 2605.
Is there a second?
You move to adopt, correct?
Move to adopt.
Graham seconds.
It's been moved by Councilmember Johnson and seconded by Councilmember Graham to adopt ordinance serial number 26-05. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Johnson?
there have been discussions concerning several legal aspects of this particular study, as well as I have significant concerns about some of the specific language in the proposal as written. Specifically, as written in my amendment statement, which I'm not going to raise it exactly at this time, the amendment or the thing is proposing and directing the council to tell the city what to do. Basically, in the one line, we in the city council shouldn't be directing anybody to do it. That's the administration's job. So maybe we should first get a comment from our legal staff before we start making amendments and then proceed from there. Thank you.
Will?
Look at this ordinance, there was two concerns. It has very broad language, we're just adopting the study as the policy. And by doing that, you're adopting Appendix A that has certain pay scales and says that's gonna go forward. And this is before you've even gone through the budget process. You have an appropriation issue there that should be separated out. But it also says, you're not gonna put this on the internet to say these are the policies. The policies still have to be worked out, the details of these recommendations. HR needs to look at them carefully, make sure they work for all departments, and make a recommendation to you. And doing this on the fly, if I recall correctly, personnel policy does go to advice, and they should bring it out as fully formulated policies, because there's a number of issues that have recommendations in here.
Is there further discussion?
Continuing, Mayor, on that same line then, I move to amend the ordinance per the sheet that I passed out, and for the basis then of everybody listening, I'm moving that we change on sheet page 8, which is actually page 1 of the ordinance, line 27 and 28, which would now read: the findings and recommendations of the 25 compensation study as presented to the city council, strike the lines "are hereby adopted and incorporated," and replace it "may be used as a basis by reference of this, but may be used by reference as the official compensation plan of the city of Wasilla." Next, line 30, I would amend it, the administration strike "hereby is directed," and I would change it to "authorized to use," as deemed necessary, the updated pay scale and regulated compensation, including any administrative procedures effective as provided therein. Add a sentence, this authorization does not require any part of this report to be used which is not in the best interest of the city.
Okay, that is the motion. And we need a second.
Graham seconds.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to change the wording to Mr. Johnson's handout, which he read into the record. Is there discussion? Mr. Graham?
Madam Mayor,
Okay, I'm sorry.
go ahead, Mr. Graham.
Madam Mayor, I would, at this point, move we enter into, committee of the whole to discuss, this ordinance, kind of hammer things out and then bring it back with everybody's changes incorporated.
Okay, is there a second to entering into the committee of the whole?
Second by Councilman
Second.
Johnson.
If I may.
Yes.
So no action can be taken in committee of the whole. So once we're out of committee of the whole, we have an amendment pending. So we'll
That's
take,
correct.
vote on that amendment and
Yep.
continue on. Perfect.
Okay, we are now, is there objection to entering into the committee of the whole? Hearing none, we are now in the committee of the whole. Mr. Crafton?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm curious to hear from our HR department around this one. What is the goal to do with this study after, if we were to adopt this? Like, if we adopted this tonight, what would be the next step? Is it a full implementation of it? Is it guidance? What is it looking like?
Thank you for the question. For the record, I'm Kimberly Green, Human Resources Manager. So the administration's intention is to make the pay scale effective July 1st. Finance has already incorporated the budget or incorporated the McGrath pay scale into the budget. So that's what you'll receive if you would like to proceed with the McGrath pay scale. We'll then go through and work with the attorney to draft a policy to incorporate some of those guidelines that McGrath had recommended to the city. And then that would be approved by the mayor since it would be a policy.
Okay, thank you. And if I could, Mayor, a question probably, I can't see who's sitting at the administration table there, but I assume Ted's right there. What type of fiscal impact do we have with this? I mean, how much of a change in salaries are we going to be seeing if we were to adopt this?
I guess I don't have to do through the mayor, but the original projection was approximately $150,000 is my understanding. And one thing that would be in there that I have not verified because I wasn't part of going through this is that in our budget process, there would be a COLA adjusted to this original. This is still the original scale of approximately 2%. The actual 3-year average for the CPI right now is, because a very large year dropped off, has gone down to 1.96 is the 3-year rolling average now. So there'd be another approximately 2% added on to that original 150,000. So, and the finance director was going to work on those numbers, and I have not seen those, but I can definitely have those to the council.
What were those numbers? One more, you said there was an
It
initial
was
solo 100,000.
approximately Councilmember Crafton.
Crafton.
Yes, it was approximately 150,000 was what It was supposed to be to implement the full changing of people on the scale and going from, this scale would go from 2.5 at the beginning to 2.5 through the whole scale. So there's an adjustment on the tail end of going to 2.5%. And then going to 10% between each level. And it was 150,000 for the initial projection, not including the COLA of about 1.96% above that.
Okay, is there further discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Mr. Johnson?
Okay, returning to my concerns to the HR director. My concern is this, and I'll be quite blunt. We hired a consulting company to come out with a recommendation. They are the experts, more or less, okay? But in this room, the expert is sitting at your desk. And for me on the council, I feel very, very uncomfortable to direct you to take action based on a company that we hired. I look at it as your job is to come back to the council with what is in the best interest of the cities, not just simply parroting and rubber stamping a report. Some of those things might be good, some of them might be bad. I'm a really good engineer, but after reading 100 and some pages of this, I can't tell you what's good and what's bad. I'm trusting your judgment. So is what I would really like to see is the administration come back with what it is that you want to give us based on this. So yes, use the study. I think it's a good study in part, but there are some things that I personally didn't really like. So my thing is I just don't want to be in the position of directing you to do something that I'm not an expert in and that you are. I don't want to take and usurp your job through a directive, and the word says direct in there. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I cannot vote for this ordinance in its current form, nor do I think I can even vote for it in an amended form, because as we mentioned last week, and as the documentation before us mentions as well, the company was hired to provide recommendations, and there were some pretty significant guidelines on there. The communities were chosen and given to the company, which ones to use and which ones, we would ignore, that are part of our market and in effect a part of that. They came up with some great information for us, which is very nice. But this is just one piece of the puzzle, and this is not, as the attorney says, this is not a policy that we're bringing forward. And it says here, we're going to come, this is going to be the official compensation plan for the city of Wasilla. No, it's not. This is a part of the puzzle to determine the compensation rates or compensation plan for the city of Wasilla. And this is nothing against the administration, nothing against McGrath, the folks that did the study. They did what they were asked to do, but they were asked to look at something very specific, and they came back with observations based on those very specific things. And there's not enough information here, and I am not comfortable with a consultant, like Mr. Johnson mentioned, with a consultant or consulting agency coming up with policy for the city. They can certainly weigh in, and that's what we asked them to do, was to weigh in, and they did that. But I am uncomfortable with them saying, well, this is the policy for the city, when what we asked them to look at was just one piece of the puzzle that affects the compensation plan for the city. Thank you.
Is there further discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Kathy?
there was some good information in the study. But as far as this being our policy moving forward, I can't get on board with it. One thing that we were not given in this, we're given the new pay scales. We weren't given the current pay scales to compare them to. What a starting wage is for this director or this unclassified, position. We weren't given that. So when I read this, I don't know if this new starting scale is $20,000 above what the old one was. I have nothing to compare that to, and that's not fair. It's not fair to us to make those to vote to move this forward without having all those pieces of the puzzle. I don't think it's fair to employees to not have some of that information. I can't get behind this until we have a lot more information on this. I think it's a great study, but yeah, our market for competition is Anchorage, and I think they should have been included in this. But as far as the parameters they were given, it's a great study. But I don't think it's what we should move forward with for this being all of our inclusive policies and everything now that this is what we're going to do from now on. I don't think I just can't get behind that. So.
Okay, is there further
Mayor.
discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Ms. Rubio?
thank you. You listening to everybody, we know that my biggest concern is the timing. Clearly, this is the cart before the horse. I believe I will postpone this indefinitely right now on the lines of additional time for the council to review the compensation study, better understand the fiscal impacts. I know, Ted, you throw numbers out great, but that doesn't work for me. And then we can consider proposals along the FY 2027 budget where we're supposed to. And so I think the biggest thing really is the timing for sure. It's incomplete. I do not feel comfortable.
Mr.
Madam
Crafton?
Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. I'm liking what I'm hearing from the council here because I wasn't feeling too great about this. Kathy, I was actually trying to find our old scale. I know it's in our budget, but again, sometimes searching through 300 pages of documents is hard to find. Because I was trying to get reference points as well here. And to me, again, I think this goes back to it's great information. It's a starting point, but it's an odd timing when we're talking about the budget, and now we're talking about completely redoing our pay scale structure, where we kind of have a process there to utilize for that. Where, hey, if we wanted to adopt a new structure, that's when that would be done, is when we go to adopt the pay scale, which we do every year. I think overall what I would have liked to see alongside this is, and it even talks about it here, is there is a large demographic of employees or of the workforce, not even just in the city, but just in general, that compensation isn't always the main thing that they're looking for. And when we look at the demographics of people that we're kind of missing at the city, those are the people that we're missing. It's the younger demographic that it's not just about compensation, it's about additional benefits. And sometimes it feels like everybody's answer in today's world is just to throw more money at it and throw more money at it and see if it works. And it feels like we're throwing spaghetti at the wall sometimes, and we're not getting anywhere. So I'm a postpone indefinitely as well on this one here, and I would like to see something a little bit more comprehensive and maybe even some more in-depth work sessions around this topic where we can talk to some of our employees, like I think Mr. Becker had come forward and said. Obviously, it predates my time, but if that was a thing, I think that would be great, where we can hear a little bit more about what they like and dislike about the structure, if that's possible, so we can really flesh out what's best for the city instead of just throwing more money at it. So, thank you.
Madam Mayor, I move to exit committee of the whole.
Seconded.
The motion's been made and seconded to exit committee of the whole. Is there objection? Hearing none, we are out of committee of the whole.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Johnson,
I withdraw my amendment.
okay?
Is there any?
Is there
nuance to the vote?
objection to him withdrawing his amendment? Okay, we're back to the main motion.
Well, hold on one second. Just for formality's sake, can I have a second for the withdrawal?
Rubio seconds.
Seconded.
Okay, and no objection. It's withdrawn.
Okay, now we're back to the main motion. Is there further discussion on the main motion?
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
Hearing
So,
none,
Madam Mayor, yes, I would like to move to postpone indefinitely ordinance serial number 26-05.
Graham seconds.
the motion has been made by Councilmember Rubio, seconded by Councilmember Graham to definitely,
Postpone indefinitely.
to postpone indefinitely serial number 26-05. Is there discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, that motion passes. Yeah, we're done with the motion, right?
You're more braver than I was.
Okay. We are now at persons to be heard, a time for members of the public to share their views with the council. Please note that this is not a question and answer period. Speakers may be referred to administration and items raised may be taken under advisement. Please begin your testimony by stating your first and last name, and if you're a city resident, comments are limited to 3 minutes. And the first one is Senator David Wilson.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council members. For the record, my name is David Wilson. I am a city resident. Tonight, I'm talking on behalf of two things. One, before I get to my employer's items, I also want to thank the mayor for honoring Coach Herbert Truitt. And the only thing that I will say that I wish they're all here is that Wasilla High basketball girls and consistently have had the highest GPA among their peers as well. And that's something to be truly grateful for, is that not only does she have wonderful athletes, they also are academic leaders as well. Tonight, I want to also thank a couple of the council members who've already registered for this wonderful event, but the joint chamber meeting, with the City of Wasilla, City of Palmer, is with the support of the Matsu Health Foundation, is putting on a child care policy in the workforce, so businesses need to know and do. It is a free luncheon for this joint chamber, and it will be focused more on businesses and what they can do to discuss the child care gaps, impacts, the workforce participation, retention, and productivity. Tentatively, we have speakers from Joey Crum from NIT talking about this for the workforce standpoint. Kitty Capozzi, the chair of the Alaska Chamber, is coming. We have a couple of video addresses from legislators, because obviously they're a little tied up right now doing the work of the people in Juneau. And Department of Labor is coming to talk upon a bill that could possibly take funding to provide additional support for the workforce, including childcare providers, and a couple of other surprise folks to be in attendance as well that have just not yet confirmed. With that, I just want to say thank you all for what you do and living here in the city. And you, Mayor, you have a wonderful set of directors that are always responsive. And even though you just go and bother, it may not be city issues, they find a way to make things work. And just want to say thank you for that as well. And thank you all for what you do. Have a great night.
Thank you. And next is Jeannie Trzynski.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Jeannie Troshinsky. I do not live in the city limits. I just volunteer in the city limits. So a few things. First, I just as myself, I want to thank you for recognizing Coach Jeannie Hebert-Truax. She's going to be greatly missed. I looked at the banner the other day and the boys have won state basketball twice from Wasilla High, and I think the girls have won 12 times, 8 or 12, whatever. Only one time was not under Coach Hebert-Truax. It's crazy what a great coach she is and how much fun it has been to work with her. At one time when my son was in high school, Hebert won 101 consecutive league games. It's unbelievable what a great coach she is. So thank you for recognizing her. We have lots of things going on at the library. One of the most exciting things, we're finishing up at WASI right now, our 5th class. We've done 2 classes with WASI and 3 at the library that are art for seniors 55 and older. In April, we start our next 2 classes at Wasilla. We're going to have art journaling and storytelling. And 4 other libraries in the valley are joining us. Sutton, Big Lake, Willow, and Palmer are also going to offer art classes. And we are just really blessed to be supported through the Mat-Su Health Foundation through a Target Wellness Grant. And the Mat-Su Council on Aging is working with us to administer the grant and to make this happen. And registration opens Wednesday, March 11th, 11 a.m. And people are already tormenting me. Let them know I'm giving you some flyers. The 11th at 11, they can call into their library and register for their favorite art project. They can register at more than one library. April and May are great times to drive around to the libraries and do art. It's really exciting. We're also really working hard to get summer reading going. Our youth services librarian, Sarah, is always really busy this time of the year. So I attached a copy of our fundraising that we put out to the community, and it's just kind of also to let you know what the theme is. She's already like signing up our presenters and stuff. It's a really busy time of the year at the library. 2 weeks ago, one of our story times had 93 people there. It's a little insane because like a lot of them are like 2 and under. So we're trying to figure out what to do because we're kind of feeling like we probably need to add an additional person associated with the library there. I mean, the parents are there and they're sort of helping wrangle their own children, but a lot of why they're there is really to interact with each other because a lot of people come to the valley, don't have a connection, a way to connect, and they love our story time. So it's exciting. It's a good problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. We are now on the I will close persons to be heard and bring it back. We are now on the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the items for approval under the consent agenda by title.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have the regular meeting minutes of February 9th, 2026, and the special meeting minutes of February 11th, 2026. We have one introduction recommended for public hearing on March 23rd, 2026, ordinance serial number 2606, authorizing transfers from the general fund's committed fund balance to the sewer utility fund, the water utility fund, the airport fund, the Curtis Menard Sports Center fund to the capital improvement projects adopted in fiscal year 2026 budget in the amount of $8,002,206. Our resolutions remaining on the consent agenda, resolution serial number 2619, approving a contract award to Ferguson Enterprises LLC in the amount of $84,605 for the purchase of sewer effluent pumps for the Public Works Department wastewater division. Resolution serial number 2620, approving a utility extension contract between the City of Wasilla and Matanuska Electric Association Incorporated in the amount of $387,883 for Phase 3 electric service extension to the taxiway Kilo project, and that's at our airport. Resolution serial number 2621, approving a utility extension contract between the city of Wasilla and Anstar Natural Gas Company in the amount of $117,585 for a gas main extension to taxiway Kilo project, again at the airport. And lastly, resolution serial number 2622, approving a contract between the city of Wasilla and Chevrolet of Wasilla for $49,516.60 in consideration for a 2026 Chevrolet 2500 truck. And those are our items under approval for consent.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
So moved by Councilman Johnson.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
It's been moved by Councilmember Johnson and seconded by Councilmember Schmidt to approve the consent agenda as read. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. We are now at unfinished business. Madam Clerk, please read resolution serial number 26-15 by title.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's adopting the budget goals and priorities for fiscal year 2027. We do have a motion pending. Main motion to adopt.
Okay. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor, once again, I'd like to move into committee of the whole for discussion of this item prior to a vote.
Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Graham, seconded by Councilmember Rubio to go to the committee of the whole. Is there any objection? Hearing none, we are in committee of the whole at 6:44. Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like a 5-minute recess to get my notes together. Okay, a 5-minute recess.
No. Yeah. We're taking a 5-minute recess. 6:45, we'll be back at 6:50. We're back on the record at 6:50. Mr. Graham?
Thank you for the recess. I appreciate that, so I could get my notes properly compiled here. So this, what we're looking at is Resolution 2615, which is the, adopting the budget goals and priorities that we worked on earlier. So we had worked on these earlier and kind of played with them on the screen. And then they came back to us in this finished form, but this is the first time we'd seen the finished form, so I requested that this be delayed till the next meeting so that we could look at them. And so I've looked at a couple things here. And when I read through it, there's a couple things that catch my eye. And one of the things that I talked with our deputy administrator about was on line 36, which is on page 138 of the paper report. It says complete the 2045 comprehensive plan. I'm just I'm not comfortable with the term 2045 comprehensive plan because I don't know, to me, the title just doesn't fit what it is. So I had asked our deputy administrator, what if we called it the 2026 to 2045 comprehensive plan? So it shows that it is for an entire period as opposed to something being done, at a specific time. So those things in the comprehensive plan would apply for the whole period, not just for the period, not just for something to be done by the time we get to 2045. And she didn't have an objection to that. So I would like to, rename the comprehensive plan on line 36 and 43 to be, 2026 to 2045 comprehensive plan. And then under that on lines 37 and 38 talks about the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. So what I would do is on line 37, where it says optimize, I would strike that and replace it with the word align, ALIGN. And on line 38, after the word library, I would add the phrase with the needs and desires of residents. So rather than optimizing the parks, which would be different to Mr. Schmidt than it would be to Ms. Cottle, than it would be to me. What is the optimal use of the park? Well, it depends on the user group and the variety of users there. So I think aligning it with the needs, with the desires and needs of the residents is more appropriate there. And then on line 41, when we're talking about communications, after the hyphen, the word service hyphen service, and then the hyphen, I would change that to increase and enhance, and change customer reach to customer contacts. Because it does no good for us to reach out to somebody if we're not hitting them.
Can you repeat that? How is it gonna read, please?
So line 41, the middle of the line there says customer service hyphen, and then I would add the words increase and being the word there. So increase and enhance, and then strike the word reach, add the word contacts. I just think that's a lot clearer direction, something more measurable. When we talk about contacts, we can see how many people we're contacting. I mean, that's what websites do nowadays. They count the number of hits and so on and so forth. So, and then on line 45, I would like to strike the beginning of that. It says allocate funding for, strike that and insert the word begin. So it would read begin a 5-year strategic plan based on the completed comprehensive plan. So. And then line 53 talks about a new website. Well, we don't have a new website anymore. New is defined as being 6 months or less, so we don't have a new website anymore. So I would just change that to be the communication change, strike the word new and the word website on, line 54, and replace it with the phrase on the city main website. So it doesn't give the impression that we're building a new website, because we just built a new website. But it is, like I say, more than 6 months old, so technically it's not new anymore. So,
On the city's official website.
yes. That sounds good to me. On line 58, it talks about reviewing the city code, ordinance, and policies. And then coming down to line 58, there's a period. And then following that period, it says, these aim to streamline processes, etc. After the word these, I would like to add the word reviews. These reviews aim to streamline processes. And on line 60, following the word procedures, strike the word that and insert the phrase to ensure they. So then it would read policies and procedures to ensure they are relevant, clear, et cetera, et cetera. On line 71, says fiscal policies that provide guidance for debt management. I'd like to strike the word debt and replace it with the word asset. And on line 74, where it says provide for continued growth, following the word continued, I would like to add the phrase serviceability and future. So the sentence would read provide for continued serviceability and future growth. And it's talking about sustaining, preserving, and improving city infrastructure there. On line 75, I just found it confusing the way that it's written here. It currently says identify infrastructure gaps, pursue funding, address capital needs, and deferred maintenance costs. So what I would like to do, Madam Clerk, is on line 75 is delete the words preserve funding.
It's pursue.
Pursue funding, trifocals, pursue funding. And then on line 76, following the word costs, add the phrase and pursue funding to provide solutions which, and then address, which provide solutions to these issues.
Can you read that again?
Identify infrastructure gaps, deleting pursue funding, address capital needs and deferred maintenance costs, and pursue funding to provide solutions for these gaps. Or perhaps problems would be a better word. I don't know what would fit there, but. Issues, perfect. There you go. I'm full of issues. I don't see anybody arguing that. And then on line 77 says implement the airport master plan by marketing efforts and expand the commercial footprint. Well, if we're implementing the airport master plan, part of that plan is marketing efforts.
Ian Crafton has left.
So I just don't, I'm missing why we have the phrase in there by marketing efforts. Perhaps the administrator could talk to that.
Yeah, to Councilmember Graham through the mayor. Once the airport master plan is complete, we don't want it to go on a shelf. We have to go out to the market and let them know what our what the 20-year plan is. And so this is letting the community know exactly what the master plan contains, because there's a public process, but then you also have to let them know that the commercial part of the airport, what is the commercial part of the airport, where is it? And so the marketing, efforts would be to go and, put a nice portfolio of this is the master plan and this is the various, markets it will serve.
Okay, and that would happen in the 20, this whole thing here, this is based on budget goals and priorities for fiscal year 2026.
Correct.
So, and there's several references in here to multi-year type programs, which we can't, commit, next year's council to pursuing something. They have to continue to move it on. But, so, we don't have the master plan finished yet.
So phase 2 is complete
Okay,
and phase 2 is at the FAA right now for final approval.
okay,
That approval should come within,
okay,
next couple weeks.
okay, great,
yeah, and so this will be the next effort.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, on line 84, referring again to the fact that this is a 1-year plan, I'd just like to strike the word annually, where it says allocate funding annually for road maintenance and paving. We'll just allocate money with the knowledge that we do that every year. And line 87 says utilizing the MPO and Map Valley planning for transportation organization for transportation funding to develop and maintain or sustain future infrastructure, including supplying matching funds as needed. Is that supposed to be a separate sentence there, that last phrase? Because we're not getting matching funds from the MPO. The matching funds are coming from the city. Is that to perhaps include, maybe instead of including? To me, it looks like we're asking them for matching funds.
It says we're supplying them.
Not
Appropriating?
Oh,
Yeah.
Appropriating.
sure that
Yeah.
it would work. Just as long as it shows it's coming from us, and that's not something that we're,
But you can't really tie. I mean,
right. Right, so,
you can't really say you would do it.
so take out what they're,
You can't appropriate, that's what she's saying. You can't appropriate.
Propose appropriation.
You do that.
Which line?
Yeah, propose.
Maybe,
87.
maybe you just strike the whole last line,
Yeah.
because it's a given, if you go for that transportation funding, likely there's a match, and so you'll vet that out at the time.
okay.
Right. So we'll just strike everything, we'll put the period after infrastructure.
Thank you. And then, one last thing, I'm sure everybody's waiting for me to go on for another hour, but just one last thing here. So on line 90, I'll start on 89 here. Encourage development for the depot area, including the adjacent lot, for economic growth, improved accessibility and increased tourism. Improved accessibility to what?
To the lot.
To the actual depot area, because right now you only have one access point.
Right.
So the other access point comes from, on what would be the old,
So are we trying to improve vehicular access? What is,
yeah.
when you say accessibility, everybody always thinks of disability.
Yeah.
As opposed to when you say access, I think people think in terms of infrastructure.
I'll ask the engineer. Eric, what would be the right word to access, the depot area?
Well, I think Mr. Graham's probably right. If we just changed it to access,
Okay.
depot access.
Okay, so improve access instead of improved accessibility.
Thank you.
And so those would be my comments for committee of the whole. Madam Mayor.
Mayor, just one clarification here when I was talking to Councilmember Graham. The 2045 comprehensive plan, it's always good to have a 20-year start and finish. And so we did initiate it as far as going out to bid in 25. So if you don't object, 25 to 45 would be a standard
20-year.
in planning.
I have no problem as long as we're showing that
Okay.
we're working over a period of time as
Thank you.
opposed to working right now.
Councilmember, Graham, if I may, I think the plan will reflect that.
Mhm.
So do you want to just leave it complete the update to the 2011 comprehensive plan? That's really what you're doing and not right now try to figure out the name of it.
Are we updating the plan or are we
Yes.
replacing the plan?
We're updating it.
Sure,
Yeah,
Or, you
update the
know,
2011.
sure.
Or, do you want to do that? So you can reference it. What did I say?
Thank
No.
you. Updating the 2011.
I actually
Correct.
liked it the better way.
You want it the other way?
Either way, yeah. Because if you just say you're updating the 2011 plan, okay,
Yeah,
where are you going from there?
So it should be 25 to 20 or to 45.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's a 20-year plan.
Correct.
We're
Right.
just slow about updating the 2011.
Madam Mayor, to the council, I really think it shouldn't reflect the 2011. I mean, that's confusing to me. Okay,
Okay, anybody else?
Madam Mayor, to Jamie, what exactly, or how does line 77 through 79 now read? Because I actually like it the way that it was.
Unchanged. Unchanged from what's printed.
Unchanged,
You're
okay.
talking about number 2?
Yes,
Number 2 is unchanged.
Okay.
We changed number 1.
Yeah. okay.
Okay. Mark,
On line 95, there's just a typo there for employees, if we could correct that.
The employee,
E.
it's missing an E.
Sorry. Bugs me.
The E fell out.
Yep.
Madam Mayor, I move to exit committee of the whole.
is there a second?
Seconds.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Graham, seconded by Councilmember Cottle to exit committee of the whole. Is there objection? Hearing none, we are out of committee of the whole at 7:07.
Madam Mayor, I have a question for the clerk. May I?
Yes.
So how then should we proceed, given that, what was there, 11 items there that I put forward? What's your recommendation on proceeding? I mean, right now, we have a motion on the floor.
So what I would recommend, if there's no objection, I would move them as all one amendment. If everybody's comfortable with them, and you were very clear if I need to go back and listen. Madam Deputy Clerk, are we good?
And is the council clear on what the amendments were? Do we need to take a minute and type them all out?
No typing, I would just reread them.
Okay. Madam Mayor, I move to amend Resolution 2615 per the discussion we had in committee of the whole.
Okay. Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
The motion has been made to amend resolution serial number 2615 by Councilmember Graham, seconded by Councilmember Rubio. Is there discussion? Hearing none, is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion stands. Okay, does that,
The main motion is amended,
the,
which is on the floor. Remember
yes.
from the prior meeting.
Okay, we are voting on the main motion that's been here,
As amended.
as amended. Is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Okay, we are now at new business. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance serial number. Which way you wanna go with them?
Council, do you want me to take, Councilmember Crafton, are you online?
He had to leave.
He had to leave. Well, he pulled the first 2.
I don't know why.
Anyway, do you want to take those down together, council? Okay. We're gonna take them as, they are contingent upon each other. So resolution serial number 2617, authorizing the transfer of airport funds to the airport apron improvement funds to complete the airport master plan. And with that, resolution serial number 2618, approving amendment number 5 to the contract between the city of Wasilla and HDL Engineering Consultants LLC to complete the airport master plan.
Madam Mayor, I move to accept resolution number 2617 and resolution serial number 2618.
Is there a second?
Rubio seconds.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Cottle, seconded by Councilmember Rubio to accept resolution serial number 2617, resolution serial number 2618. Is there discussion? Hearing none. Is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, now. I'm lost.
So referral.
Hmm? Yeah. Yeah, there. Madam Clerk,
Next item under new business is item 10.1, which is under referrals. It's an ordinance for referral to the planning commission for 45 days or other date specified by the council. So that would, if somebody wanted to change that date, that would be through motion. And that's ordinance serial number 2607, amending Wasilla Municipal Code Title 16 Land Development Code to strengthen the commercial zoning district by prohibiting small assisted living facilities, and that's long-term small and transient small, duplexes, multifamily dwellings, and single-family dwellings.
is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I move ordinance serial 26-07.
Is there a second?
Councilman Johnson seconds.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Graham, seconded by Councilmember Johnson on ordinance serial number 26-07. Is there discussion?
Madam Mayor, yes, ma'am, I brought this forward, based on, discussion, kind of a citywide discussion that's been happening about commercial, property, and this is kind of to fix a hole, what's perceived as a hole in the code. This isn't intended to open up Title 16 again for phase 2. That's already going on, but this is to fix the hole that exists there. Typically, we would have referred these for 90 days, but now that the planning commission meets twice a month, I thought this new date was appropriate. I did discuss it with the head of the planning commission, and he seemed to think that was appropriate. And I'm seeing him nodding in the audience, so I'm assuming that he still thinks that's appropriate. So anyway, this is just to follow the procedure that we've got here in the city. If we're gonna amend the planning code, then let's let planning take a whack at it, and then we amend the code here. So I appreciate your moving forward with this.
Further discussion? Mr. Johnson?
Madam Mayor, to our council, I have a related question to this. As we're referring this to the planning committee, is it possible or legal for the council to have a resolution to postpone any requests for code until the planning commission has finished the work on the revised ordinance? In other words, can we put a moratorium on on conditional use permits on commercial property until the planning commission has done their work?
Real?
I don't think there's an immediate can't, but the problem is if you put a moratorium on people losing money and claiming they're losing money, and you're setting yourself up because, you know, optimistically, okay, planning commission's gonna do it next month, we're on this. It never happens that way, so probably don't want to set a moratorium. Work within the planning commission, that they're careful of what advances, et cetera. So there's, you know, not giant law coming in or something like that, but at the same time, I mean, these developers have a limited window, and if you stop that for any kind of long period of time, you're gonna have trouble. And it's gonna end up in some kind of headache, whether it's litigation or otherwise. But as counsel, you can do whatever you want. You just say, don't do any, never again.
Well,
So,
through the chair, not to contradict our attorney, I would think some notice to the public that you're gonna do that moratorium, so they can opine on whether or not that moratorium is in the best interest. I mean, maybe the not legally required, but maybe just through good public policy practice, maybe.
If you put out a moratorium, no matter what your intention is, you're gonna kill business. Because they are gonna see it as Wasilla is not open for business anymore. And we've worked really hard, along with you guys, to put out the message, we are open for business.
The moratorium would only be for conditional use permits,
I get that,
for
but
commercial property.
I get that. But the public's perception, they're not going to read through everything. They're gonna go, oh, Wasilla's put out a moratorium on, and by tomorrow it'll be on building, on playgrounds, on whatever, whoever decides to put their 2 cents worth in. You know how Facebook is. So is there further discussion? Hearing none. Is there objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion passes. We are now at communication. Madam Clerk, please read the items by title.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item number 2605, appointment of Administrative Hearing Officer Joseph N. Levesque II for Planning Commission Appeal Case number 2601. And I do want to report to council that the original conditional use application for the development was revoked by the developer and the property owner, and therefore the appeal is moot and will not be moving forward. And we will refund all associated fees to the appellant. Okay.
So does that mean that this item is moot as well?
Yeah, because the case has gone away. We found that out Friday, so the packet was already released.
Okay. We have no commission minutes, and we are moving on to audience comments, which is a time for members of the public to share their views with the council. This is not a question and answer period or a time for dialogue. Speakers may be referred to administration, or issues raised may be taken under advisement by the council or administration. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak?
Hello again. My name is Keith Jones. I work for the city. Last week, a gentleman by the name of Don Schiesel came in talking about wanting some sidewalks in the Primrose area, Riverdance, Celtic area. Mr. Schiesel was the director of public works here when I started. After he left here, he was the public works director over for the borough for a while. After hearing him speak, I asked my crew, what are you seeing over there? And pretty much they're all saying there's older people walking around there on a regular basis. So just wanted to share that with council. Director Shaw said he was going to try to get something going on that. But when it comes time to pony up the money for that project, I hope council does that, because I think it'd be a good thing for that area with the development and the elderly people we have over there. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. He also said there was a lot of little kids that play on that street. So, is there anyone else? I will close audience comments, bring it back to the dais. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Council members, I think you've all filed, but if you haven't turned in your POFD, they are due by March 15th. So just a reminder, and that's same for our planning commissioners. And then you will see on your clerk report, we did list all of the budget meetings. So go home, mark your calendars, and that's the budget meetings as of publication of this report. Certainly, if anything changes, we'll let you know, and we will see you here next regular meeting, March 23rd.
Mr. Attorney,
Nothing to report. Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Crafton, are you still gone? Councilmember Schmidt,
Yeah, I think it was a good meeting today, and I'm glad we kind of held back on that one proposal with the wages.
Councilmember Graham,
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Really productive meeting. I really enjoyed that, particularly the part where we recognized Jeannie Herbert Truex and the amazing, not just outstanding, but I mean the truly amazing things that she has done at Wasilla High. Someone mentioned that, I don't remember who it was, that mentioned that the GPA of the girls basketball team, and that's not a current statistics, that's a statistic that goes back years and years and years. So she has certainly shown that high school students can balance the needs and the demands of sports with academics, and that will serve them well. And whatever we decide to do with her, whether we want to have a Jeannie Truex Day or something like that, boy, I'd be all behind it if the high school decided to do something like that. So congratulations to her and to the many females that she has coached and led along the way. So I also appreciate the council's indulgence as I went through a couple of fairly lengthy things tonight. I appreciate doing that. But also remind people that, hey, it's Girl Scout cookie season. I don't have any girls. I don't have any skin in that game, so to speak. But it's important, that we support those. So if you have the chance to buy a box or a case of cookies or something like that, please take advantage of that and do that, because the Girl Scouts, that's a very important program for the development of our youth here in our community. Also wanted to thank the mayor. Recently Valley Performing Arts put on a play, Rex's Exes, and I was a part of that, and I asked the mayor to borrow a piece of jewelry that was used during the play, and she was very happy to give up that jewelry for about 4 months or so while we practiced the play and did the play. So thank you very much for supporting the community there. It's a very expensive piece of jewelry there. But I also wanted to thank MTA, which provided some of the props for the play as well. So community theater is just that, it's community. I mean, it's the community putting things on and the community supporting things. And so I wanted to particularly point out the mayor and MTA for their donations, not of money, but of things that help put the plays on. And last but not least, man, if you haven't been to the library book sale, you're missing out. It's amazing the number of books that they have there covering just about anything. And while, yeah, they do have the bag sale, $5 for a bag of books, which is a great deal. They also have some real specialty books there. I mean, I bought a book there that, I don't know, must have been last year. It was like a $250 book for like $11, because it was kind of on the specialty table. But if you haven't been, you're missing out. So I highly recommend you take a few hours this Saturday and wander by the library and see what they've got going on, because it's amazing. I mean, whether you're looking for something for yourself, for your children, for your grandchildren, or just something to load up a burlap bag with and tie it to your husband's leg next time you go fishing. So, but whatever works there, there's plenty of opportunity there at the library book sale. So please take advantage of that. Thank you, Madam.
Councilmember Rubio.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Excellent meeting tonight. I love that the council is doing their homework and working as a team, and getting ahead of it for sure. I do appreciate that. On Coach Jeannie Hebert, I only call her Hebert. She is Hebert Truex, but I've known her that long and we are good friends. Saturday night at Wasilla High, they dedicated the basketball courts to her. And her name will be etched in the court where she stands and stomps her foot. And everybody that's ever had her as a coach, that will whip your head around so quick. It's like it just echoes in your ear. So they are putting it where she stomps her foot and then across the court. on the other side, and they are doing it this fall. They will have like a little opening of it, when they do redo the floors. So super awesome. Like I said, she's one of my good friends, but was coached under her, and she's amazing. So I feel like they've done a great job at Wasilla High.
Councilmember Cottle.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good meeting tonight. I always appreciate when employees are willing to stand up and talk. It's not an easy thing to do sometimes. I think it's good for council to have directors, employees, everybody's input, all the employees of the city. You know, it's good to have that. It's good to see all sides of everything. So I thank you for that. Congrats to Wasilla High School, to Coach Jeannie, to her helping mold amazing women here in Wasilla. She's going to be sorely missed. I was out of state this last week where the temperatures were in the upper 50s and lower 60s, and there was green grass. And I came back in the middle of a snowstorm. I was not amused. I'm still not amused. I'm very over winter, but thank you to our roads department because they keep my road plowed. And I appreciate that they keep our roads open. They do such a fantastic job, but you can all get rid of winter now. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, and now I will entertain a motion to go, oh, Mr. Johnson. Phew. I guess I've heard you tonight, but go ahead.
I'm starting to get to you. I'm sorry, Madam Mayor. I want to thank you for a good meeting, and directors, I want to thank you for the good work that you do. And as far as the HR director goes, I realize that you are truly a specialist and that you know what you're doing. And I wanted to reinforce that message that I don't want us council people taking and directing you to do things that you really have the knowledge to do. Thank you.
Okay, now I will entertain a, huh?
You want to do any closing before we go? Closing comments?
When we come back
You
out.
want to come back? Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, oh, you all will be gone, so. Yes, we did have a good meeting tonight. I like it when we have a very amenable conversation because that's when we get done. That's when we get things done. And Keith and John, he's gone, but you can tell him if I don't see him. I appreciate you guys coming. Do not ever hesitate to come and let your voice be heard. Because without the employees that we've got, without the directors that I've got, this city would not run. And as far as I'm concerned, even to the guy, the girl, whoever is emptying the trash, you're all valuable. And I appreciate the job all of you do, because that's the reason that we are the shining star of the state. And we will continue to be that. I don't care what they say. So anyway, now I'll entertain a motion for executive session.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to enter executive session for matters which the immediate public knowledge of would clearly have an adverse effect upon the finances of the city. Matters which by law, municipal charter, or ordinance are required to be kept confidential. Matters involving consideration of the city records that by law are not subject to public disclosure, and matters subject to attorney-client privileges. Specifically, the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Wasilla and the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 302. Those present in the executive session will be the entire council, mayor, city clerk, finance consultant, Ted Leonard, public works director, human resource manager, and attorney Jennifer Alexander. Sorry about that.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Councilman Johnson.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Rubio and seconded by Councilmember Johnson to enter the committee of the whole.
No, executive session.
Executive session.
Okay.
I will. So anybody that's not going into executive session, you guys are excused.
Behold, it is daylight.
And it's daylight.
No.
Hey, listen,
But we're not done yet.
no.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Hey, go home and watch, American Idol. There's a kid from my hometown
Oh, yeah?
that is on, and he's going up the ladder. Is there a motion to exit the executive session?
Madam Mayor, I move to exit executive session.
Is there a second?
I second that.
The motion's been made by Councilmember Cottle and seconded by Councilmember Schmidt to exit the executive session. Is there objection? Hearing none, we are out of executive session at 8:04. So, Madam Clerk, we are just now to adjournment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We are done with everything that's coming before us tonight. It's 8:04 and we are adjourned. Thank you, council.